Well, guys, this is the reality of February the 2nd, Chicagoland. We've got a nice blanket of snow again. So, no riding on the R7 still, which is good because we got it in pieces at the moment. And so this is just a very quick catch-up video just to talk about the airbox and a couple of other things. We do have the dyno day coming up next Saturday. So hopefully the weather's a little bit better than this, because it is a bit of a task to get the bike up into the back of the truck, and snow and wetness really doesn't help all of that business. So yeah, this is where we're at right now. We're going to be running the dyno day with the stock airbox in. It's been flashed for the exhaust, the Akropovich over there. So we're just going to see what it makes with, you know, a mapping and a snorkel delete and the exhaust, and then that will help us to determine whether I've done any good work with the airbox that I'm trying to build up. So let's talk a little bit more about that. We'll go inside and I'll show you where I'm at with that. The other thing I wanted to just talk about briefly is 2025. What are we going to be doing? Are we just going to do track days, or are we going to try and fit in a couple of races? And what I'm going to do, I haven't fully made up my mind exactly, but what I think we're going to do is we're going to do all the preparations that we need to do, because it's beneficial if you're track riding, right? The things that we need to do to go racing would be an oil catch type belly pan, so replacing the stock belly pan with an oil catch, you know, race item, which is like $350 by the time we've got it delivered. We're going to put the protective cases siding on the engine cases, and do some lock wiring of the oil filter and the coolant cap, things like that. We need to check the regulations, go through that, make sure that we're covered. We're going to run it as a street / race bike, which other people do, so it's not beyond the realms of man. So, you know, we're still going to be running indicators and lights just taped up, as we're doing at the moment for the track as well. I don't think we need to change we need to change the coolant for like a water-based version as well. So we're going to do the preparations to go racing, and then I will look at some weekends to do it. Now, I do have my UK evidence of a race license, and so far with the ASRA, the association that races in my area, they've already accepted that as evidence to go racing. So I don't need to go and do any sort of license days. I am ready to go and race if I wanted to with ASRA. So all we've got to do is get the bike prepared. I think we're just going to do like 1 or 2 weekends, because again, I don't have endless funds to do this. And I think we'll probably end up running, you know, like a street tire, maybe get some wets on the other ones, so that we're not having to deal with slicks for the race event. And they'll be good enough. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting year, and I hope you come along with the journey and see how we go. Right, let's talk a little bit about the airbox now then, and where we're up with that. Okay, so we had the K&N air filter arrive that we're going to use. So this is what it looks like. It's the oval shaped, and it's a fairly common oval shape, it would appear, because you can buy, like I was showing you in the last video, kind of an assembly that encompasses the air filter and then fits onto a set of carbs for, I don't know, like Volkswagens and things like that. So that's what I am actually going to go with. I have purchased, bear with me, a official K&N air filter housing. It did come chrome, and I've already painted this top cap black. And so the air filter gets sandwiched in this plate here, in this top cap, and then that fits onto So this is the other half that came with it. It was a used item. It cost me like $30 to get it delivered, so not expensive. And I've already started to modify it for my needs. So as you can see, the air filter would live like that. And that center post helps me to clamp this together. It won't be as long as that, don't worry. And then, because the K&N item has all of these various holes that we're not going to need, I had to adapt it with my own plate. So this is an aluminium plate that I made up. It was a piece of scrap that I had, and it's approximately 6mm thick, and it's going to be bolted to the K&N back plate, and then these hole centers will eventually be my velocity stack ports. So as you can see, that's going to go on the back of there like that. But I haven't drilled these out yet because the last real critical part of this puzzle is those velocity stacks. Quick mention. So I've decided, because this breather port where the hard power one would be is right on the mounting point of this post. Now I could have ground that off, but I've decided to try run an external breather filter for that breather pipe from the engine, so it doesn't have to go into the airbox. So that might help us just, build this a little easier. Anyway, you saw last time I had those 3D printed, or I had one 3D printed velocity stack. And I was about to do some experiments with it, like bathe it in oil and drip it in fuel, etc., etc. And before I did that, I left it overnight in the garage where it was cold. And when I went to play with it the next day and sort of, get a feel of its strength again, it literally, I could peel it apart in my hands. This is a very thin walled tube that we needed on the back of the velocity stack. We want it to be thin walled because we don't necessarily want a huge step from this tube into the rubber part. We're trying to make this airflow as smooth as possible. So I don't think it's going to be a wise choice to use whatever this material is. You might be able to get a more expensive filament and make it from something else. But what I have done is, and I'll show you in a second, I'm either going to do a 3D, make up my own 3D, from my own 3D model again. I could have it CNC machined, or what I've done is ordered some off-the-shelf eBay items, which I'm going to show you now. Alright, so forgive the dodgy screen grab, but this is what we've ordered. So this is a velocity stack designed for this particular carb, somewhere in the region of 40mm carb. It's coming from China, so it's taken a while, which is why I don't have it in my hands yet to show you properly. And you can see, well, I've ordered the Yamaha blue one, obviously. But here you can see the design of it, and what we're going to do is cut off this flange part, which will just leave us with the curved entryway and the tube, which I'm hoping, if we look down here at the details somewhere, yeah, so the internal diameter is 42 to 43mm, which is bigger than the 40mm intake. But again, what I wanted to do was not restrict the intake. I wanted it to be slightly bigger than the 40mm. But the question will be, what is the overall diameter? Am I going to be able to fit the rubber pipe over this once I've cut off this flange? Don't know yet. If I can't, then what I had done also, bear with me. So I managed to teach myself a little bit of FreeCAD, which is a nice modeling tool for free. And I have built up this design in FreeCAD, and that meant that I could export a step file. And then with the step file, you can get a quote from PCBWay, is the website. And here I have a opportunity to have this made, 2 of, for $80, and then you get like a $5 off for your first order with them. So we could, for $75, we could have these velocity stacks made by them, and yeah, so that's another option for us. And this would be aluminium, like I say, and it would have the exact design that I want. It would have what I believe to be the hard power specific radius here, and the tube OD that I want, or might want. I might need to adjust this. I'm having this made up as another 3D print just so I can check the dimensions and would it actually fit on the end of the rubber pipe here, because this is approximately 40 millimeters, and so I wanted to have it stretch a little bit, so again that the airflow is not restricted by the velocity stack. So that's where we're all at, guys. So when all of these parts come in, then you'll get the next update. But of course we do have the dyno day coming up this Saturday, so you're probably going to see that video first before we finish off any of this intake system. So thanks for watching this little update video. I know it's not a lot of content in here, but yeah, it's going to be an exciting time ahead. I can't wait to get back on track soon and for all this snow to go away so we can start checking things out on the road. And yeah, looking forward to racing. If we are racing, it's probably going to be at Black Hawk Farms. That's about as far as I'm probably going to go. It's not my favorite track so far. So when I was last there, there were certain things that I needed to develop with the bike. So I'm hoping that when we go back, things feel better and I can just get on with learning the track a bit better. So that'll be good if we can do that. But yeah, as soon as I know any dates or any more information on that, obviously I'll let you know, and we'll see how we get on. There is obviously a budget to go out here. We need to get like a transponder for the bike. I need to get a new helmet, new gloves, because my gloves are worn out now. We've got to get the parts for the bike, and then we've got to pay the entry fees for the racing, blah, blah, blah. It's not a small amount of money to go racing. Obviously, we all know that. So I'll be trying to figure out the budget and how we can make it happen. I've got a few things already going up for sale on Facebook, like some of my Lego collection and things like that. Every little helps. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I know it wasn't like an amazing content video this time, but some exciting things to go at, and I thought I'd just give you a quick update in case you're wondering. I'm trying to do see if we can do a weekly video through this year. We'll see how that goes. All right, thanks for watching. If you can, like and subscribe and share around. It always helps. And I appreciate you watching, guys. Bye for now.